Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with a full review of the Orei UHD-EXB230AR-K HDMI extension kit. This product makes it incredibly easy for you to share all of your HDMI media content with a second remote location up to 70 meters away over a single Cat5e or Cat6 LAN cable. The product fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content and is both HDMI 2.0B as well as HDCP 2.2 compliant, which means it'll work fine with all of your modern media gear. It also provides full ARC support between the primary and secondary locations, as well as employing the very latest in power over cable technology, which allows you to use a single power supply to provide all the power you'll need for the entire solution. The kit even includes a set of infrared blasters that will collect up the remote control signals from that secondary location and pass those back over the LAN cable to the primary location where they're rebroadcast, allowing you to completely remotely control the content you're watching. Now, as part of this review, I'd like to start with an unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit. And then I'll take a closer look at the transmitter and receiver modules and explain the connections and indicators so you understand exactly how to use them with your own equipment. And I'll come back one more time and point out a few things I really like about this solution that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first pop open the box, you'll find the transmitter module and the receiver module, a set of brackets you can use to mount these modules up off the ground and out of the way. You'll find a pair of RS-232 connection blocks. This product can also share RS-232 signals between those locations, and these make it a little easier to wire that into the units. You'll also find a single 24-volt DC 1-amp power supply. You can plug this into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it, and because this system uses power over cable technology, you can use this at the remote site or the primary site, and the power for the other module is sent over the LAN cable. You'll find a set of infrared blasters also included, and these look similar, but they're slightly different. One has a larger head, one has a smaller head. The larger head is the receiver, and that plugs in at the receiver end. The smaller one plugs in at the transmitter side. You'll also find a warranty card and a full instruction manual included that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and other really important details you'll need to understand about the solution to use it correctly, so always read through that manual. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at both modules, and then I'll point out a few things that I really like about this kit, again, that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. Inside the kit, you'll find a sender module and a receiver module. Both of these feature full metal enclosures, which make them incredibly durable, and really the perfect choice for both commercial and residential installations. Let's start with the sender module. On the front, starting on the left, you'll find a power indicator. The minute you add power to the module, it starts an internal power on self-test where it's checking all the electronics. Once it passes that test, it'll light that LED letting you know the module's ready to use. To the right of that is an EDID selector switch, and you can choose between copy and standard, and again, that's fully explained in the manual, but essentially you're adjusting the frame rate and resolution of your input media content to the output resolution of your monitor. To the right of that is a service port. That's a micro USB port, and that's used for updating the firmware on the module later on if changes need to be made. And you'll simply connect this up to your computer, move the new firmware file to the module to complete that upgrade. On the bottom of the unit, as well as on either side, you'll notice ventilation slots that are designed to allow any heat that develops during operation to escape. You'll also find mounting holes on the bottom of the unit that can be used with the included bracketing kit to mount the module up off the ground and out of the way. On the rear of the modules where you'll make all your connections, starting on the left is a DC input port, and that's used with the power supply. And again, because this system uses power over cable, you can plug it in here or you can plug it in at the receiver end. Plug it in and tighten that collar so it doesn't pop back out. To the right of that is a LAN port, and that's where one end of the Cat5e or Cat6 cable between the transmitter and receiver plugs in. To the right of that is an HDMI input port, and that's connected to whatever media device you'd like to share the content from with your remote location. Standard HDMI cable there. SP-diff out is an optical connection. Again, you can pass audio between the two locations, and you can make that decision using the switch on the other module, and I'll show you that in a minute. To the right of that are two infrared blaster ports, infrared in and infrared out. In the case of the transmitter, you'll use the smaller infrared blaster and plug that into the IR out port. To the right of that is an RS-232 connection block, and again, if you want to send RS-232 control signals between the locations, you can make a connection there. The receiver module is very similar. On the front, again, you'll find a power indicator. Once it passes the internal test, that'll come on. To the right of that is an audio selection switch, and this is where you can decide if you want to use HDMI, ARC audio, or SP-diff in. If you decide to inject audio, pull that switch down. If you want to use the standard HDMI ARC audio, throw the switch up. To the right of that is another service port, again for updating the firmware. On the bottom are ventilation slots as well as along either side, mounting holes on the bottom for the bracketing kit. On the rear of the unit, you'll find another DC port right here. If you've plugged the power supply in at the transmitter end, you won't need to plug anything in here. To the right of that is the other LAN port, and that's where the other end of the Cat5e or Cat6 cable plugs in. To the right of that is an HDMI output port, and that connects to the monitor at the remote location where you'd like to enjoy the content. To the right of that is an SPDIF optical connection, and that's where you can actually add audio that's transmitted between those two sites. It's an optical cable. Finally, to the right of that are two infrared blaster ports. In the case of the receiver, you'll use the larger infrared blaster and plug that into the IR in port. And again, to the right of that is another RS-232 connection block, and that's the other end of that RS-232 extension. That's pretty much it for both of the modules. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the Orei UHD-EXB230AR-K HDMI extension kit with other products you may be considering. The first thing has to do with resolution. This product fully supports 4K ultra-high definition media content at 60 frames a second. A lot of other HDMI kits on the market that support 4K may only support it at 30 frames a second, or they may only support 1080p content. So knowing you've got a solution that fully supports the very latest and high definition media content means it'll work perfectly with all of your modern media gear and deliver the best quality video and audio at your remote location. Another important consideration is the certification. This product is both HDMI 2.0b as well as Hdcp 2.2 compliant. And those are important specifications because HDMI has gone through a lot of different changes in recent years and includes a lot of advanced functionality. Knowing you've got a solution that adheres to the latest HDMI standard means you can take advantage of all those advanced features like ARC and CEC because you've got a product that supports that. The Hdcp certification is important as well because that controls copy protection. So the product has the very latest in HDCP copy protection built in, which means you can use it with pretty much any video file on the market today. Another important consideration is the ARC support, which this product provides. ARC is audio return channel, and it allows you to simplify your wiring by using a single HDMI cable to supply both media content and audio content to your soundbar. Another important consideration is the power over cable technology. This product allows you to use a single power supply to provide all the power you'll need for the entire solution. It greatly simplifies your wiring. Also, the inclusion of the infrared blaster kits means that you'll have complete remote control from that secondary location over the content you're watching. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and with a few simple connections you can be up and running in no time. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. I appreciate you watching, and again, until next time, stay nerdy.